Hey guys, thanks for stopping by the Everyday Watch channel. For today's video, we're checking out this Longines Big Eye in titanium. But before going over the specs of this watch, I do want to give a big thanks to Kavar Jewelers for lending in this timepiece for the review. I will be returning it after this video concludes, but if you guys are enamored by this watch and you want to purchase it, I highly recommend you check out Kavar Jewelers' website, link in the description of this video, and contact me too, as I can probably hook you up with some special Kavar Jeweler pricing. So a bit of background on the Longines Big Eye Chronograph. This watch actually falls under their heritage models in their extensive catalog. I'm not too sure why, because as a heritage piece, it doesn't really tie back to any other vintage chronograph that they have. I actually read a story that in about the 1930s or 40s that this could have been a prototype model, and they had one owner bring in this specific watch to be serviced, and Longines actually fell in love with the Big Eye design. And then fast forward to 2017, they released a stainless steel version of this watch with a matte black dial, and it quickly became extremely popular within the $3,000 to $4,000 chronograph luxury price segment. And if you're wondering why this watch became so coveted within the watch community, I think a lot of it is to do with the asymmetrical Big Eye design, with the 30-minute totalizer at the 3 o'clock position, but also the automatic movement housed inside this watch, because it's not like your standard Valjoux 7753. Longines actually has an exclusive partnership with ETA for certain calibers. They call this the caliber L688.5, which does have your standard 28,800 vibrations per hour beat rate. They extended the power reserve to an impressive 66 hours. You get benefits like a silicone balance spring, which protects against shocks and is anti-magnetic, but the biggest key feature is having a column wheel here, so you get this clean, crispy actuation of the chronograph when it is engaged. Stopping it and resetting it is very smooth, and it's a pleasure to use, especially given the mid-luxury price tier that this is going for. And in terms of this movement's performance, it's held up extremely well, only deviating by a couple seconds per day, with a very strong amplitude and no beat error to speak of on my time grapher. Now for this specific watch, in 2021, they did release a full grade 5 titanium version of the Big Eye, which you're seeing in front of you now, with this gorgeous blue fume gradient dial. And this grade 5 titanium just gives you a very nice finish to it. It's mostly done in satin, but there is some high polish you can find on the sides of the chronograph pushers and the crown, and then on the very fine ring of the fixed bezel as well. Now with respect to case dimensions, it's similar to the stainless steel counterpart, so you do get a 41mm case diameter here. Flipping the watch to the side, between my thumbs here, I measure a lug-to-lug of 48.5mm. The overall case height comes in at 14.8mm. That's to the bottom of a screwed-in case back, which you can see has the Longines airplane dead center there. And then to the top of this vintage-style boxed sapphire crystal, which I do think carries some anti-reflective treatment on the underside. It gives you some very nice viewing angles. Now on the wrist, I would say that this Longines Big Eye in titanium wears true to that 41mm case size. It does stay fairly flat and firmly planted on your wrist, and because of a grade 5 titanium, it's actually quite light. The overall weight of this watch, including the supply strap, is only 75 grams, and of course with titanium there's some other benefits like being hyperallergenic and extremely corrosion resistant. Now I should mention that the lug opening for the supplied brown vintage leather strap is a nice even 20mm, which is kind of refreshing because I know some other pilot watches from the Longines catalog have an odd 21mm lug opening, like the Spirit lineup. Now the supply strap is pretty decent. You do have some hand stitching near the head of the watch. It tapers from 20 all the way down to about 18 millimeters when you get to the tail portion. You do get a fairly standard titanium pin buckle here with the Longines winged logo. The strap is bolstered, but it's a little stiff to break in. But because of that nice and even 20 millimeter lug opening, if you want to swap this out for a NATO or other aftermarket options, it's not difficult to do at all. Now let's move in and talk about the dial because it's absolutely gorgeous. So the name Big Eye is attributed to that 3 o'clock subdial register, which is your 30-minute totalizer for the chronograph. And you can actually see that at every 3-minute interval, you have a slightly larger baton marker there, just allowing you to get a really quick read on time. For the 6 o'clock subdial, that's your chronograph hours. So it does count up to 12 hours, and you can actually see that there is half an hour hash points as well to line up with the Big Eye marker at the 3 o'clock. And then finally, replacing the 9 o'clock Arabic marker is your running seconds, and that's just your standard 60-second marker. You can see that all of the subdial hands, as well as the main 3 hands of the watch, appear to be done in titanium, and it's a bead blasted finish, which adds some nice texture to the overall dial. I also like that all of the subdials are slightly sunken into the dial, and you have a radial texture to them, so you have concentric circles that just propagate out from the center of each of the subdials all the way to the end. And even the Arabic markers have a nice texture to them as well. You can see that they are filled with old radium loom, similar to the hour and the total minute hand. Low light legibility in this watch is fine. I would say that the loom is average. It does seem to be a bit more potent on the hand stack compared to the hour Arabic markers, but getting good orientation for this watch is actually quite easy to do, and it is better than some other chronographs on the market as well. In terms of subtle improvements that I hope Longines can make for future iterations of this watch, first and foremost, you're only getting 30 meters of water resistance here. This is a non-screw down crown, which does make it really easy to manually wind the movement, but because this is like a military or tool type watch, boosting the water resistance to 50 or even 100 meters would be really nice to see, and having a screw down crown would be a benefit for the future. Another minor nitpick I do have is that you can really feel the rotor move when you actually give this watch a quick spin. And maybe it's because it's titanium and the case is very light, but that rotor wobble is more noticeable compared to other, say, Valjoux-based movements from other chronographs. And lastly, I would love to see Longines offer a titanium bracelet option for this timepiece. I know that they will be re-releasing the Longines Spirit in titanium very soon, and there is a bracelet option for that watch. So come on Longines, please follow suit and give us a bracelet option for the Big Eye. But at the end of the day, I really love the design of the Big Eye. Sometimes having asymmetry can really be more functional in terms of actually having a chronograph that you can read. I'll quickly hold up my Omega Speedmaster Professional, which is a 42mm case diameter, but you can see that the Longines Big Eye, I just like the dial layout a lot more in terms of orientation and legibility. That being said, I do think that the finishing on the Omega is a lot better, plus you're getting the bracelet option, and of course the heritage that comes with the Moonwatch. And as always guys, I'd love to hear your feedback in the description of the video. What's your thoughts on the Longines Big Eye? And do you prefer this titanium version or the stainless steel option? Again, big shout out to Kavar Jewelers for lending in this watch. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you like it, please consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me out a lot. And as always, I hope you guys can stay safe during this time, and I'll catch you in the next video.